agents, this is Monica Brothers, Director of Technology at Keller Williams Southlake, and I am going to show you how to use Dotloop to submit your documents for the compliance process and for the MCA to be able to cut your CDA on time and so that you can get paid at closing. Alright, first you're going to sign into your MyKW profile, which looks like this, and on your eEdge control panel you're going to click on Start eTransactions. It's going to take you over to Dotloop, and it looks like this. Some of you might be seeing this screen, which is just the pretty grid view, but you can always toggle back to the list view, which looks like this. You'll see that there's a search bar here, and you are ready to create a loop. So create a loop, one transaction, one address. So if it's a listing, you're going to put all of your documents into the same loop, and then when you get a contract on that listing, you are also going to put it into the same loop. Alright, so we are going to do a buyer loop. This is how we want it named. Buyer, space, dash, and then the address, and then space, dash, the last name of the client. So here you are, you got your title. You can select a template that I've already created for you that will have your folder set up for you, and will have some of the basic default information created for you. But for our purposes today, because we're going to be submitting PDFs that are saved to my computer, that I'm just going to skip that process and hit Create Loop. So it's going to give me a blank loop. It has your title here. And the first thing you want to do is go ahead and select your transaction type. So for a buyer, it's a purchase. Select loop status. If it is under contract, which mine is, go ahead and select under contract. And then I'm going to add the purchase price. This is just an organization thing for you. Sorry about that. An organization thing for you so that you can quickly look at your loop and know the price and the closing date. So I'm going to put the price in and hit enter. And then I'm going to click on closing date. Make sure that you add your closing date. I can't emphasize the importance of this enough, but this is how compliance and the MCA department prioritize what loops they're looking at. So if you don't select a date, it goes to the very, very bottom, and it will not get looked at in time. So we want you to go ahead and select the closing date. If it changes, just come back in and change the date. So if it's a couple days before, just change the date for us. Alright, so here we are. We've got our folder. I'm going to go ahead and rename my folder. If you notice, I click on the three dots to the right, and it's going to give me more options. And I'm just going to go ahead and rename contract folder. And hit enter. So here we are, ready to add documents. I've already got my PDFs saved onto my computer and I know where they are. So add document, add from computer, and then it pulls up to my computer. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and add the executed contract, which is right here. Just double click. If you notice, it's uploading right there. I'm going to let it upload, and then add more documents. So I've got my contract, and I'm going to put my MLS sheet in there. This is mandatory on all transactions, including the buy side. So I've gone into Netris and saved it as a PDF to my computer, and here it is. I'm going to add my seller's disclosure signed by both the sellers and the buyers. Let's see where that is. Here it is. Seller's disclosure, and all my mandatory docs. You will find the mandatory buying docs on the checklist that Beverly has sent out. It's also in Dotloop under templates. So go ahead and follow those guidelines and only submit what is on the checklist. If it is not on the checklist, we do not want to see it. We don't want to check it for compliance and slow down the process. If you do have something that you want to put into Dotloop that is not to be submitted to compliance, just go ahead and add another folder and call it miscellaneous folder or supplemental folder, whatever makes more sense to you. I'm going to go ahead and drag this to the bottom, drop it, and then the things that would go in here is a survey, an inspection report, any sort of amendment that is not part of the contract. So here we are, got my survey in there and all my docs, and now I'm ready to submit for review. This is where it will put into queues for the compliance team to check it. So submit to review is right under this black bar. Go ahead and click submit to review, and then it's going to ask you what folder. You can't submit individual documents, you have to submit them by folder, and that's why it's so important to organize them up front. So I'm going to click contract folder, select the type. You must select the type before you can submit. Contract is always going to be buying, and then I'm going to click submit. So that's that. It will put it into the compliance team's queues, and they will check it. They will get it to the MCA department so that they can cut your CDA, get it to title. And so that brings up another point. To get it to title, you will want to come down into the people section here and add your person. You're going to add the closer's name and their email address. If you've already added them once, they're going to be in your system, and you can just go ahead and click on the autofill. And you always want to select the role so that we know and you know exactly who this person is. Select escrow title. It's going to ask you for more information. You don't have to do this. It does talk to eEdge, so whatever you put in here, it will put into eEdge as well. So if it's a client, you might want to add their phone number and their another email address or their company, anything that you want to collect. I'm going to hit add person, and if you see, she shows up right here. So now MCA department will know exactly who to send it to, the CDA that is. So they'll come in, they'll add the CDA when it's time, and then directly share it with your closer. So that's that. That is a buyer loop for compliance. If you have any questions, please email me, mbrothers@kw.com. And thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great day.